Mods 10 is a very power-intensive mod pack with many options for power, but nothing compares to Extreme Reactors. Alright, we have a major problem, and that's that we're completely out of power. Kinda. Our system here is still activated because of our 10 billion FE power buffer. However, this one, which is connected to this guy right here, well, that's running very low. And the only saving grace we have is when it's nighttime or starts raining. So for our day-night machine here, I took out the items, so at least then we can get that little bit of extra power. But I don't want this machine to run out, so no better way to fix that than getting into Extreme Reactors because of this block that goes into the Philosopher's Fuel. This is going to be a long process. So the first thing I'm going to need is a graphite seed, which requires 4 graphite blocks, and you get the ingots from smelting some coal. Thankfully, we do have about 98k worth of coal, but that isn't going to be enough for this whole machine. So we will definitely need a few of these seeds. So let's quickly craft this up. And then once we plant this down, we're going to have to create another crafting grid to automatically craft up the ingots. And then we're going to need somewhere to throw it as well. This export bus is getting pretty full. I have a feeling that's going to be a problem in the future. Anyways, though, now we're going to need to get into the reactor itself. And the casings aren't that bad. We're just going to need a ton of them. And we're short on steel. I think I might need to make that seed as well. This is more expensive than I thought it would be. But now we're going to be needing uranium for the reactor controllers. And I know we have a seed for that somewhere. It's just not going to be enough to power the full reactor. So we will have to solve that issue when the time comes. But for now, we can do some access ports. And then we're going to need a few fuel rods. And that's where more of the uranium comes into play. So I know we're going to run out for now. Oh, well, we ran out of steel first. Well, that's fine. And between episodes, I actually built a whole giant room. I was going to say little, but then I remembered how big this was. And I did lay out every corner of where this reactor is going to be. So this thing's going to be huge. So let's build this all the way up. And then we need the horizontal. And then it's just a lot of the same thing multiple times. Yeah, I never really get over how big this thing can be, even though I built it a few hundred times. And that's not even to mention how much fuel this system is going to cost. And speaking of fuel, we're going to need a way to import solid fuel, but the same thing with the liquid fuel. And then we're going to need this extreme wrench so we can actually configure these ports. I believe that's all we need that for. And then we just have to do like a little grid pattern for all these fuel rods. And we're also going to need reactor glass. Thankfully, it's just 1 casing and 2 vibrant glass. You can just use the regular casing for this. I just think the glass looks a lot prettier. Yeah, we're definitely going to need to get this fuel going soon. I think now might actually be a good idea for that. Just because this is going to require so much fuel. Because each one of these fuel rods needs to be filled up. So I think I'm going to build a little room right back here. There we go. And I set up 2 little farming areas with lily pads of fertility underneath. Because after I make a bunch of these seeds, I'm going to need them to grow very quickly. And I'm just now realizing I could have put growth accelerators along with this. And I could have probably just stuck with 1 farm patch. But who knows? Maybe we can do that in the future. Never mind, that's unlikely. I need 3 crafters to keep up and 3 modular routers to move all the stuff. Anyway, I got the first layer of the reactor done, minus the cooling aspect. And I'm not exactly sure what the best form of cooling is, because every mod pack is slightly different. So I'm going to make the extreme book, as this should tell me the coolants. So we can use water, but that doesn't sound as fun. Wait, fuel is uranium? I thought we could use uranium. Blocks and fluids that can be used with the modders are marked with a special tooltip that you can see if you want to spoil yourself. All right, F3 and H to enable tooltips. And if I remember correctly, we can use Inderium. That's a lot of tags. Okay, yeah, that can be used. I don't know how efficient it is, but I think we'll use it. So let's make the seed. We're going to need 4 Inderium ingots, which I'm going to assume you have to alloy smelt. Yes, indeed. With platinum, lead, and ender pearls. I think we have all that. Platinum, lead, and ender pearls. So give me what I need. No, that's the sawmill. That's not the right thing. Oh, this is a process. Gimme. We'll place you there. Power. And I forgot about this again. Oh my god. You know what? I'll just take the basic capacitor out of here. And as much as I want to just say I'll take 4 and leave, I know we're going to need a ton of this too. You know I've said this before, but I really wish you could stack multiple things in here. It would just be so much more efficient. And craft up one more. Please tell me you give a good amount. Not bad. Definitely need some upgrades in here though. Okay, cool. So with the blocks now, I can go ahead and start to cool my reactor. Okay, that was definitely not enough. So I hope an extra 15 of these will fix our issue. I guess I could have just AFK'd this. Actually, no, that would take too long. And our power's gone up. Oh no, that's completely empty. Never mind. We still have a major issue. That definitely can't wait. Well, that didn't take too long. But now to make some more of the fuel rods. I forgot to connect that up to the system. I'm smart. Well, let's fix that issue. I want to say we have an empty thing in here. Yep, right here. Boop. That sign's not correct anymore. Much better. Give me a ton more of you. And then we can just take our building gadget and do our thing. Wait, I can just use this surface thing, can't I? Yep. Well, that'll make the Enderium easier at least. Because I can just go all the way to the edge and then build directly up. That made this whole process a lot easier. So now all we have left is the reactor control rods, and all we need for that is some pistons, along with some regular reactor casings. And this is one part I do remember, placing the control rods over top, then it's just back to the regular casings. And as long as I haven't royally screwed this thing up, when I place down this last block, it should complete the reactor. Error is not valid for reactor 169283. 169283. Wait, so it's on this block? Where? Oh, I guess I missed some glass. There we go. Now we got a working reactor. So I'm definitely going to need a few cables, another couple wireless connectors, which I can throw down right here. I'm going to run the cables like this. Then a flux accessor will throw down right there with the small cable. And then I'm going to need an export bus going onto there, an import bus on there. Oh wait, that's an import export bus. I don't know if that'll work. We're just going to use the regular one just in case. And then I don't want those connecting just because it looks nicer to me. So all our energy will be pulled out through the flux accessor, and we just need to link this up, which will be a whole new connector. And then back at our import bus, I want to say I can throw in uranium. Yep, we got about 0.12% fuel, and I guess the uranium is yellorium, because you just combine 9 of them together, and you can get 1 yellorium block. I guess there's no specified yellorium ingots. Well, that's okay, because we can just throw that in there with a few acceleration credits. And this should start going up slowly, and I do mean very, very slowly. Actually, no, this thing is huge, so it really is filling up kind of quick. And I think we're about full. Yep, so let's go ahead and turn this on and hope our fuel doesn't just absolutely drain out. The core heat shot straight up, so did the casing heat, but I'm more concerned with how much power we're generating. Please be a good amount. 15 million FE a tick. Yes, please. And the eject waste is cyan going right into our system. But I don't want that. I want it going into the storage chest here. So with that amount of power, please tell me you are full. No, but you're filling up at a pretty good rate. I just don't know if I can reconnect this guy. Well, only one real way to find out. You're still going up pretty fast, and you're at a steady 2 million FE. So unless it is nighttime out, which it is not, we're gaining 236 million a second. Oh, that worked. But now to see if we can make it more efficient. Because Extreme Reactors have a whole bunch of different types of fuel, and I want to know what's best. Well, along with getting to this block as well. So yet another new room? I think this will be good enough, because we only need 2 machines in here. The first being the reprocessor, and the next being the fluidizer. And at this point, I don't think it matters which one we make first. So we'll start with the reprocessor, and it's really going to make me refill the bucket every single time. All right. And if I'm being honest, I forget how big this thing needs to be. I'm hoping this size works, because otherwise I'm going to have to experiment. But as far as I remember, it doesn't really matter which side we put everything on, as long as the collector is up top. And then if we seal everything in with the reactor glass, if we've done it correctly, which apparently we haven't. Oh, wait, no, we just missed a block. No, still haven't done that correctly. Maybe this has to go up top, and this has to go here? No, maybe you down there? Huh? Ah, okay, there we go. It just had to be 7 blocks tall with that piece on the bottom, and then I also forgot about the output. But now we got it working. I can actually go ahead and for this first bit, place down a sink, and then I could pipe some water directly into our machine, and then we just actually have to give it power. And where do I input this stuff from? Do I just take the ingots? Nope, can't throw them in directly from there. It's the output. Do I have to be able to access the top? Yes, we do. So now we can throw those in, and then if we come to the activator and we hit go ahead, it'll convert them all into plutonium. And we are going to get quite a bit out of this. My only question is, do we need the B? Yes, we will. So as that does its thing, I'm going to need to figure out the cyanide B. We'll just need a radioactive B with a cyanide block, and to get the radioactive by a Cree and an iron. I thought there was a different way you could do this. Oh, wait, no. It's the regular B with the piece in TNT. That's what I was thinking. So I'll just do this very quickly. Cree B, iron B equals radioactive B. Why you give me a uranite B? Maybe will this work anyways? Where'd it go? Mr. B? Oh, yep, there you are. Hi. Can you take this block if you stop moving long enough? No, you can't. Okay, well, that worked. Cree B, iron B. I guess you can just get multiple? Sure. Anyways, now we can place that guy down, give him what radioactive block turns in cyanide. Cyanide block. Radioactive. Take the block. Oh, wait, it's a baby still. Let's grow that guy up real quick. And there we go. Now he can be transformed. And then the only other thing we're going to need is this gene sampler upgrade. And then I should be able to go ahead, throw this productivity upgrade in along with the gene samplers. And if I do a little time manipulation. Oh, wait, I need a feeding block in here. Okay, there we go. Now it's working. And we did get one gene sample, just not the one we're looking for. So we'll just speed that up one more time. And at some point, we'll get our cyanide productive B gene sample. Then we can just combine that with a treat, grab an egg, and then throw all of these in together. And that stole my egg. Am I really going to need to make a chicken seed for this? I'm guessing so. Now I just need to find some chickens. If only they were as easy to find as cows. Okay, let's craft up you, plant you there, give me the pattern, and we can craft up as many eggs as we want. I didn't realize we needed so many eggs for this possibly to work. There we go. I think I'm probably going to need to make a few more of those. But for now, this will do for us going ahead, putting it in here. And once we take out this ingot, we'll get our plutonium B. And then if we take that egg and we throw it into the feeding slab, I believe if we take out the cyanide block and then obviously clear this out, if we speed this up, we'll get a ludicrite B. And I believe we can actually get multiple of those. Oh, wait, no. Would have been cool, though. But one other thing I'm actually thinking about doing is maybe just making a smaller reactor behind this wall here, just because taking out all of this fuel until obviously the top stage is going to be not very efficient. Unless we aren't running low on power anymore. Okay, yeah, no, we're almost at 3 trillion. We can turn that guy off, eject all the waste. Now, if I spam this a whole ton of times. Okay, no, this is taking too long. We'll just disable the fuel input and we'll just let this burn itself off. It'll shut down when it's done anyways. And I don't think we need to worry about that exploding. Because I was wrong. We don't actually need to put the plutonium into the reactor. We actually need to put it back into the reprocessor with some cyanide. But it's the cyanide liquid that we need. So that's where this fluidizer comes in. We'll need quite a few casings, 1 piece of fluidizer glass, controller, a solid input, and a fluidizer output, along with a power tap. And thankfully, this machine isn't as big as the last one, and it's actually only a 3x3 machine. And we'll just finish off this piece by throwing a piece of glass on. And then if I come to the back and I throw some of our cyanite in, let that do its thing, we'll create liquid cyanite. And from there, I can actually go ahead and remove the water, trash the liquid that's in it, and then I can actually just automatically pipe it on over. And I do believe if I throw some plutonium in, we'll start to create some ludicrite. And then the only other step after that, now that our reactor is completely empty, and I just had to spam eject the waste like crazy, I can go ahead and throw in some plutonium. And once we activate that reactor, you should go in. Why are you being so difficult? Oh, there's a void reactants button right there. I'm stupid. But anyway, now we can go ahead through all our plutonium in. And once we start this guy up, it'll take its sweet time, only 0.292 megabuckets a tick, but will eventually get us the magentite ingots, where now we can take it, throw it into our fluidizer, which will fill up our reprocessor, that we can then throw our ludicrite in, and that will get turned into radiculite. I just realized I'm gonna need some of this stuff before it all disappears. So let's just go ahead and make a block. And then to get the magentite B, we just need to take the plutonium and then right click that onto there. Where did our B cage go? Excuse me, sir, where'd you go? Please don't tell me. Okay, hi, I see you. And this bee is important because we need to throw him into the beehive. I will remove this block, and then we'll have to create a second magentite block to throw in there. And then since we have our gene sampler upgrades in here, we will speed this up to grab the samples and make another spawn egg. So I don't believe we need the ludicrite anymore, unless it goes into making the radiculite bee. No, it does not. Oh, wait, yes, it does. So we'll throw you down, and as long as you don't fly off too far, it should be able to give you the spawn egg. In a feeding slab. I think I just wasted that bee. Oh, wait, no, we didn't. So just create a magentite block surrounding an end crystal with the ludicrite. Actually, I didn't need that block because we're throwing in the spawn egg, doing a little more acceleration, and a radiculite bee. So pass me these ingots, and then I can throw him in the hive and get myself more genes for yet another egg that we can take and put off to the side for now. And then if we go looking for the ionite bee, we just have to put in a ludicrite spawn egg with the radiculite bee. And I actually have quite a few of these eggs, so I think I'll get myself 2. Now we just need a way to feed it. And we'll need to put the radiculite ingots through our reprocessor, but with resonite, which you get from rhodium, which you get from this green liquid. And the way you make this is combining yellorium or uranium with plutonium. So do we have a second input slot on this thing? But I think I'm going to need to replace this piece of glass with a second one. And I think maybe putting down these bees somewhere might be a good idea, because this fuel here is actually the best for the reactor. So we're going to need a lot of plutonium, and yes, uranium as well, but we already have that covered. So I think I'll just put them along this wall, and I'm gonna need a few of them for sure. And then we're also gonna need a couple of heated centrifuges to deal with all the combs that we produce. And then I'm gonna take this and replicate it on this side as well, just so that these two go directly into there, and then those two go into there, just so we don't have any clogging issues like we have up here. This room's gonna need to be redesigned. All right, that's done. And I got about 30 plutonium bees, all with max attributes, also filled up with all the max productivity upgrades. So all we have to do is chuck our bees in. And if we need any more bees than just that, we have this entire side available also. But I have a feeling with how big this reactor is, we're definitely going to need more. And probably a bigger one of these as well. Not exactly sure where I'd put that though. But let's just go ahead and speed one of these hives up. We can see our entire system fills up. And then we can just take the pollen puffs that come out of there, add them to the whitelist. That goes into our trash can. Oh yes, and I also need to pull out of the nests themselves. So let's not forget that. Then all we have to do is take the plutonium ingots and store them somewhere. I don't know where I want to do that. I don't think throwing it up top there will look that great, but that's what I'm gonna do anyway. Okay, yeah, that's more than enough bees. It's already surpassed the uranium, and it's only been online for about 30 seconds. So I suppose you don't need to go into the reprocessor anymore. Wait, yes you do. Because I need to void all of this stuff, and then all I should have to do is pull this cable down, put an exporter there with the smaller cable so it connects with our plutonium ingots, and then we just need to pull off of the side a little bit, and then do the same thing right here, but for the uranium. And then once I turn this on, it'll automatically start making the green stuff. I still don't know how to pronounce that. But then we can just throw a storage bus right there, click and drag the liquid in, and connect that up as well. So now if we search in our system, it does show up. And I'm actually thinking I want to create a tank for this. And then we could put an import bus right there, export bus there. Actually, no, I'm not going to have the import bus right there because I want to take an ultimate fluid tank and I want to pipe this directly in. Okay, no, I don't want cyanite in there. No, stop it. It's already in there at this point. I might as well just throw the upgrade in and add a whitelist. Wait, can I not add liquids to this? I guess not. So I'll just have to recreate another tank, and then we'll just connect you up, change this to outlet, and we'll change you to the inlet. And with this reactor fully set up now, we have our first bit of resonite. And I don't know if this is just going to take a lot of time to ramp up because you can clearly see the fuel rods are completely empty. And I just don't know if this is producing fast enough. I might need to either make this bigger or create a second and third one in this area. Or we might just have to keep an eye on this for a little bit because it is still ramping up in power. It's just taking a little bit of time. But anyways, as we wait for that, we can come on over to our resonator, put down an exporter, and then insert the resonite directly in. Because now that it's filled up, I can take some of our radiculite and convert it on over to our inanite. You know, some of the names of these things, my brain just can't process. Then we can take our block and start feeding our bee. From there, we need to actually take the radiculite spawn egg and transform it. So I guess I didn't actually need that block, but there is our last bee. Oh wait, no, we did need the block because it goes into the insanite block, which we do need to craft for this guy. So how do we get our initial ingots? Well, we'll need this stuff, and then we're gonna need, I don't know what that is. I wanna say I've gotten that before. No, not looking like it. Oh, it comes from the nether, and there isn't a way to automate it. So let's go in and explore. I hope it's not too rare to find. That's definitely not rare. If so, I got extremely lucky. Yeah, no, definitely not rare. So let's just go ahead and grab quite a bit, as I don't want to have to come back in here again. I think that should be enough. So please, sir, go through there and give me what I need. Oh, that's only 4. I didn't realize one stack would only give me 4. Okay, give me the rest of what I need. And I will actually take this comb first, and I will convert it in here. These are just so overpowered, man. And so now all I believe I should have to do is create patterns for each one of these blocks. And then once I take the insanite block, spawn an RB, and throw them in here, if I take out these gene upgrades, I should get insanite comb. And actually, seeing as I don't have this side automated, and we don't need this for plutonium, I can most definitely throw everything in here and have it all be automated. So that's Extreme Reactors completed. However, we're still not done because I want to take off a couple more items that have recently changed with the Ultimate Star. As it shows up top by the Twilight Forest, you need the Snow Queen, the Urgast, and the Hydra. However, if you actually go down to the Oblivion Shard, which that goes into, you only need the Snow Queen now, and the Urgast and Hydra have been replaced with the Meat Shredder and the Void Forge. So we're going to have to fix that, because unfortunately, Our data modules won't do for this. So we'll need an explorer's compass, a few containment jars, our ritual brazier, and then a few tablets of containment. Now we just have 3 structures to go to. One being in the nether, called the Soul Blacksmith. And we have one 2,000 blocks out by the looks of things. And I don't believe we're going to have this in any of the loaded chunks, as I think this was added after the fact. So flight is definitely going to help us out in getting where we need to go. Or we'll just kind of have to tunnel the whole time. And we should be coming up on it pretty soon here. It's a very big structure. Very hard to miss. Just a matter of where. Oh, okay, we gotta go this way now. There it is. We found it. But before we go in, let's get these things ready, as this guy kind of hurts. And I think we're gonna try to lead him on over here, because I don't want to set this up very close to him. So let's throw that in there, get it ready, and let's fly up close to this guy. Maybe not. Let's move it a little bit closer. I wonder if I can get it up here. If I can, this is going to be great. There we go. Perfect. So now if I walk close to him, there he goes. And I'm going to go over up here, so in case he shoots at me, he doesn't destroy the ritual. And click and activate. Come on. Running. Cool. No! You destroyed it! You suck! Well, now I'm going to need to build another one of these. Thankfully, they're pretty cheap. I don't know why you didn't work. You're really pissing me off. Hello. Okay, so he's right there. He can't see me. Don't charge through this wall. But you there, there, and you charge through the dang wall again. Why you gotta make this so difficult, man? I'll need to lure him down. Try my best to get him not to charge. Place these. Activate that, because by the time he gets close enough... Come on. Get stuck in the jar, bud. Buddy. Come on. There we go. You are a pain in my butt. Okay, but let's get rid of the lava so this stuff doesn't burn up when we pick it up. Now we just have to head back home. And the next structure we're going to look for is called the Ancient Factory. And once again, this is going to be in chunks we don't have loaded. So there's going to be a lot of world generation going on here. But once you get here, this one is a little easier to miss, because this one is underground. Here it is. Unfortunately, you can't break into the structure though, so you will need to find the entrance, just like that. And I can already tell you guys are going to be annoying from what I've heard. So let's quickly just give them all wax, because these guys will shoot something at you. And that actually hurt a little bit. So we're going to have to be very careful. You're gonna hurt, aren't you? Okay, let's get rid of you guys, because you guys are ranged and hurt. You, well, that was fairly simple. But right back there is the guy we're looking for. And to activate him, we're actually going to need a nether star. But luckily, I don't think he is going to hurt too bad. So we'll just set up this containment jar first with the ritual. And we'll throw that in and quickly click that. And, oh, he flies. Of course you do. Come on, get in the jar. Did I not activate you? You're running. Oh, you tapped the wrong thing. How dare you? Come on. How about now? You gonna get in the jar? Source needed. This is so complicated. Okay, get in there. Ow! You're running. What the heck? Look in there now. Oh, that's an attack. Bro, you're so complicated. This is a lot more complicated than I thought it was gonna be. Wrong mob again. Oh, wait, no. Thank you for getting in there, because I've had enough of you. I don't know what all these other things are, so I'm just gonna keep the ones I need. What's attacking me? Oh, you. Hi. That was fun. But now we just have one more in the end. And this structure is called the Ruin Cathedral. And luckily, it's actually not that far away. So we should be coming into render distance real soon. There we go. Here's the structure. And if I'm correct, all I have to do is break myself downwards right here. And there is multiple bosses in the structure, but I think this is the guy we're looking for. So let me just run to the side here, break down into the chamber. Oh, and he's awake. Let's place this down then and get him to walk towards it. And that's a block in there. This guy's actually pretty fast too, so I'm gonna have to be very quick with this. Break both those, and then we need to fly back up. There you are. Place, and I forgot to build the ritual. Okay, where are you? There you are. Get in the block. That is not what I wanted. This is just so complicated. Okay, this time no other blocks, please. Get in there. Really? Well, I guess that isn't a block. Okay, we've picked up all the blocks. Okay, B, get out of here. I'm not capturing you. Now let's try this again. Do want him kind of sitting right on top of it. So be the only thing to go in there. Get inside. Really? Oh, that's not what I wanted. How do I get these back up? There we go. Okay, pick up these. Do your thing. You're waiting activation. I'm trying to get in the block. Thank you. Oh, that was annoying. And thankfully, that's all we need for now. Which means if I come over to our R's section, I can now go ahead, place all of these down. And let's move you guys out of the way because I want to place that right there. And then if I come down to our collection system, I actually want to remove this pipe for now so we can see everything being put into here. We don't need that horn, nor the netherite scrap, or the lava power cells. We will need the block of witherite, the infernal forge, and we just got one more item we're waiting for. And there it is, the void core. So we can now chuck this pipe back down, throw that back in, and we can add multiple items. We will eventually start voiding the forges because they will stack up kind of quick. And I can't remember where those blocks are going. Oh, okay. Into this modular router. So I'll just have to add to the white list. Oh, and they do stack on top of each other. Oh, that's going to save us so much room. We might not need to void any of them then. An overflow card will do just fine. Anyways, though, let's throw all of this stuff back in the system. And then we'll need to make some of the witherite ingots, which is just converting the block over. And let's make a pattern for that because we're going to need quite a few of those. And that'll bring us into the meat shredder. It just needs 2 of those ingots, 2 redstone, and 1 block of iron. So pattern for that as well. And I will just craft one right now. And then now for the void forge. We're going to need to take the infernal forge and put it through with the void core. However, we're going to need a mechanical fusion anvil for that. Luckily, it just requires some of those witherite ingots. And I don't believe there is a way to automate this. Ah! Don't right click those. But anyways, let's make quite a few of these guys. And with that, I think that's another section of this star complete. What do we not have here? Oh, the internal stella. Well, that shouldn't be too bad. But I think that's going to do it for this episode, guys. So if you did enjoy, please like, subscribe. Hit that little notification bell to be notified every single time I upload. Also join my Discord, link down in the description. Post all my videos and live streams in there. So if you never want to miss another video or live stream, make sure to join in there. Also, I sit in there, chat with you guys, do polls on what next mod packs you want to see, so on and so forth. Anyways, though, again, hope you enjoyed. Take care, and I'll see you later. Bye.